Hi, it's Laura from SixFigureWritingSecrets.com, and I wanted to make this particular video to talk about the basic process of using Upwork. If you've never signed up for the site before and you've never had the opportunity to either hire someone or be hired on Upwork, there are a couple of things that you need to know that can increase your chances of success on the site. Upwork is the newest version of two sites that have now been merged, which is Odesk and Elance. And they both had their own sort of tone and culture to the sites, but now they have been merged into one as Upwork. And there are some pros and some cons with that, but there are also some unique things about how Upwork operates that you should definitely keep in the back of your mind as you're putting together a profile and learning more about how the site works. A lot of the stumbling blocks that trip up new writers or any freelancer that's starting on the Upwork platform is because they don't really understand the process of how the site works. It definitely has their own system in place for how bids are selected, how freelancers are paid, the memberships you have to have, etc. And it's just like any other major site, such as eBay or something, where it's going to have its own system for doing things. And the faster that you learn how that works and can maximize that to your benefit, the easier it's going to be for you. So I put together this training to talk specifically about what you need to know. Truthfully, Upwork is one of the most popular places to find work as a freelancer. Even though there are some disadvantages to using the site, there are a lot of reasons why you should consider setting up a profile on Upwork. A lot of people go there to post their jobs looking for all kinds of freelancers, graphic designers, web developers, web designers, voiceover artists, comic book artists, writers, virtual assistants, you name it. If it can be done digitally, there may be someone looking on Upwork for it. There are even people who hire attorneys through Upwork. So there are a lot of clients that come to the site, and one of the great things about that for you as the freelancer is they've already made the decision to hire somebody. So you're not convincing them from a position of a cold sale where you're having to tell them the benefits of your service. They likely already know that. They're on the site for the purposes of hiring, and that takes a lot of work out of the equation for you. The way that this process works to pair you up with clients is that a client will put a request on the site and ask for bids from freelancers. They want to know about your background, the budget you'd recommend, and how long you'd take to complete a project. They might also want to know your process, depending how in depth the project goes. From that point, anyone who's interested in submitting a job proposal who has an active profile on the site will respond with information about themselves. Now, this is just an example. You could put together your own resume to submit to clients, but there's a standard form on the site. You submit a cover letter. The client has the opportunity to ask specific questions that they want you to answer. The client will also see your general Upwork rating if you have one, so what other clients have said about working with you and how that has influenced your overall rating. And then any samples that you want to submit or links to other work that you have done will also be included. So you're essentially bidding for the opportunity to work on this business. Clients will analyze all of the proposals that come in from anyone who submits one and determine whether one or more people is a potential fit for the job. So the client could see someone they really like and hire that person right away. No questions asked. That definitely happens. The client could narrow it down to a couple of people, but need more information from those individuals and reach out to those people for what's called an interview. Now, that's not a formal interview per se, unless the person requests it. It might be that they want to hop on a phone call with you for a couple minutes. It could be that the client has additional questions for you that could be answered over email or over a Skype chat. So they need more information at that point. Or the person may never hire anyone on Upwork. So what's interesting for a lot of people who get started on the site is there are a lot of people out there just checking budgets, or they're not ready yet to hire someone, but they do post a request for proposals. So you could very well be submitting on jobs where the client never actually hires someone. That's one of the downsides of a site like Upwork, because you can't guarantee that someone's going to hire you. But Upwork will show you statistics about the client, like their general hire rate. So have they posted 10 jobs, and how many of those have led to an actual relationship between the client and a freelancer? So there are ways to tell if someone's just fishing around, but when you're getting started, if the job seems like a decent fit, I recommend applying. They might not be ready to hire you now, but they could be in the future, and you don't want to turn down the potential for the job there. Once the decision has been made, the client will hire the selected person. They could even hire multiple people if they need to. And then the work relationship begins. And how this is structured depends on how the job was set up by the client. It could be an escrow job or it could be an hourly job. So if it's an escrow job, the client will approve the work and release the funds to you. If it's an hourly job, you will receive notification on the Monday after you've submitted your timesheet on Sunday night that the money has been released from hold with the client. But it does go through a 6-day period where Upwork holds the money from you receiving it. So after that period, you will have access to that money, but it is essentially taken out of the client's account the week after you complete it if you're on an hourly project. So escrow, you can set up multiple milestones to handle a bigger project. Hourly, you can work with the client as long as you feel it's necessary. They'll set the limits on how many hours per week and how long you'll work together. When it's time to complete the job, the freelancer is prompted to leave feedback first. And this is actually a benefit, I think, of Upwork as opposed to Freelance, because the client always had the upper hand in leaving feedback first on Freelance. And sometimes people would just leave feedback that was completely unfair. And then your only opportunity as the freelancer was to respond to it. And that didn't give you much of a chance to talk about clients that had problems too, right? Clients are not immune to issues with communication or clarity or scope of work. So you'll be prompted to leave feedback. The client's feedback about you won't be revealed to you until you leave feedback for the client. So that's something interesting about Upwork as opposed to Freelance. And then you can see, once you've done that and you've left your feedback for them, you can see what the client left for you, and hopefully it's great. There are a lot of benefits to working on a site like Upwork when you know the basic process of how a person is selected, how you work together, and how you can get paid. The more you educate yourself about sites like Upwork, the easier it will be for you to launch your freelance career.